Well, let's keep kicking you while you're down in this
Yeah. Oh,
valley.
yeah. Love
All right, let's talk about using Sean and H's real names. Is this a legal thing, a personal shot, just making fun of them? Worries on TNA's behalf?
Yeah, and again, I know we were told to use their real names, but I think more than legal issues, I think it was just, uh, us trying to make it a shoot. You know what I mean? But to me, that's one of the other things that made it feel worse to me was like, "Oh, now we're shooting and how are we supposed to, we're on this television show, we quit, but yet we're on the show." So it was, I felt like it was all over the place. You know what I mean? I felt like we were just trying to get their attention and it never happened. And so that's that.
Your first match is the Voodoo Kin Mafias at Genesis 2006. VKM takes on the new look of Johnny Devine, Frankie Kazarian, and Matt Bentley. And you guys win pretty much in a squash match, about 3.5 minutes. Fans were chanting DX sucks. Kip used the pedigree on Bentley and started stomping, getting ready for sweet chin music. But then he throws Bentley out of the ring, uses the Cobra Clutch slam on Devine for the pin. You then told Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Paul Levesque, and Michael Hickenbottom to tune in on Thursday as you were going to unleash a ground war. We're talking all the negative. We're talking about all the stuff. I feel like in the moment, there was probably more excitement. Like you were probably, or I should ask, were you amped up for this kind of promo to go out there and start shooting like this?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I really was. It was, because look, if I can cut a promo and make you believe every word that's coming out of my mouth, or if I can make myself believe that, it's a lot easier to make you believe it. You know what I mean? So if I believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, you'll believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. So it's a great place to start, and you don't have to write anything down. These are my feelings. I'm going to go out there and scream them at the top of my lungs. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's cool to be able to be given that creative freedom. Um,
Was it
you
fun
know,
for you to cut this promo?
yeah. It was like, but again, again, this was a different time and a different Brian. You know what I mean? I've been through several different, the war and then the superstar and then the drug addict and then the executive and then, you know what I mean? So I feel like I've had 100 lives. This was pre sobriety. And so all thoughts, were twisted. You know what I mean? And first thought was usually wrong.
On the next TV show, you cut a promo about getting a cease and desist order from the WWE. Was that a real legal threat?
Yeah, they told us to stop, that I don't know what it said exactly, but I know Vince had said, "Oh, good, we're getting to them." You know what I mean? Like it was working, like it was, and so we just kept poking the bear. And look, truth be told, we did. You asked if I had fun cutting that promo. I had fun doing a lot of this stuff. Yeah, because it was creatively free and nobody was stifling, and I could, my creativity. I could say, "Hey, what if we did this?" and walked around that corner and did that. You know what I mean? Like it was just freelancing a little bit, especially the stuff where we went to Stanford and all that stuff. We'll get into that here soon.
Yeah, I know for me, getting a cease and desist letter back at XPW, we ran an ad about being the greatest wrestling show on earth, and we got the letter from Ringling Brothers, and like we pulled the ad no problem, but it was like a sense of pride that like,
Yeah.
oh, they
Yeah.
noticed what we
They
were
saw,
doing.
yeah, they saw what we were doing. They're looking at us. And so, yeah, look, they weren't going to sue me. I didn't think I was going to point to Russo if they came to me. I was going to go, he told me to do it. But that's where we were. That's what we were doing. If it was legal or not, I don't know. I figured if it was illegal, they'd tell us to stop. They did not tell us that.
Before
We know Dogg will cut a decent promo or whatever. And so they were just utilizing us that way. We weren't ever wrestling. We were just cutting promos on two guys that weren't going to wrestle us. So having that in mind, how do you get out of it without it just kind of petering out? And you go like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
you get out of it with more entertaining segments like this next one, which sees you and Billy attempting to get Vince McMahon to sign a cease and desist order and to get DX taken off the air. There's always been a saying in business, if you're mentioning your competition, you're hitting up and it makes them seem bigger. You kind of touched on it, but
Yeah.
do you agree with that or do you still feel like we're doing some fun stuff?
No, no, look, I definitely agree with we were punching up. I got no problem admitting that. I mean, look, everybody who's ever been in competition with the WWF, WWE has been punching up. Like that's just all there is to it. There's no taking that back. So I'm not ashamed of that. Like you said, we were doing some fun stuff. We were having a good time and I was getting paid and I was higher than a kite.
Let's take a look at a listen at some of these because they are entertaining.
Look, we're out here. You know who I am. We've been standing out here for about 3.5 hours now. The man with the strongest will wins in battle every time. By God, I'm willing to stand here all night long.
Is this when we were asleep? For those of you not watching,
The camera's showing up nighttime, sleeping in front of WWE Headquarters, Titan Towers, as Billy wakes up.
I just had a nightmare.
Well, are you okay?
Yeah, I had a nightmare that dumbed to the extreme of doing something with a fat guy.
Was he naked?
Yes.
Was he putting oil all over himself?
You had the same nightmare I did?
No. Those imbeciles actually shot that segment on their television show. What'd you say? Now you buck up, Private, because you and I are America's last line of defense between that and good television. Now you buck up, you cover up, and you say good night, John Boy.
night, John boy.
It was
Dumb
entertaining.
to
Look,
the
even if it was just entertaining to me, it was worth it.
No, watching a lot of this today and prepping for the show, I had seen some of this, not all of it from back then, and we're putting, I keep saying, this negative spin on everything because of the era and time of it was in your life, but
Yeah. You're right.
viewing
And
the
I'm seeing that
content
now
as
too.
it is.
Like it
That
is the
holds up.
the content itself is not bad. I was just in a weird place in my own personal head. So I didn't mean to take it down that path. You're right.